Apparently, they're mopey over on the Five. The Five. So much for toning down the rhetoric. That's the title of this one. Five Coast discussed Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass's comment that immigration agents are hunting Latinos.
Portland pyromaniacs were torching MAGA hats as Trump's crime crackdown ramps up. Federal agents making arrests outside of the ICE.
Well, I mean, I don't think they want to be left out. There's a ton of people who give a shit about the Epstein files that have been doing the exact same thing. I wonder, Greg, did you cover when maggots were setting fire to their MAGA hats because Trump said Epstein killed himself and there's nothing to see here and you're an asshole if you're asking any questions about it? Did you cover that?
This facility has been a flashpoint for protests. And over in Cali, LA Mayor Karen Bass was fanning the flames. Hope she can put them out by saying age.
I suppose that was, I guess at best, an ironic musing, right? An attempt at a joke.
Are hunting Latinos.
Put out the flames are fanning. Why would she be fanning them if she wants to put them out? All right.
The President of the United States wants to turn the U.S. military against the American people, essentially saying go in primarily inner city communities and shoot people. Racial profiling of Latinos, which we refer to here as the hunting of Latinos, that has created a blanket of fear. They are trying to dial us back to the 1940s, and that is a tragedy for the American people.
I would argue they dialing back to specifically the early 50s under Eisenhower, specifically for the purge of Hispanic males that happened, Mexican males by and large at that time, but I'm sure there were others at that period.
You know, Harold, Memphis is your town. You were born there May 11th, 1970. You got my card. It's
St.
the home.
Joseph Hospital.
It's the home of legendary Sun Studios, Graceland, and where the Goo Goo Cluster was invented. Seems like a good place to save. And yet you've seen it decline, crime, and now Trump is trying to save it. Do you salute him for helping to?
I've said for weeks, I do.
Harold is a year younger than me. Just saying. Little less than a year? Yeah.
I wish that we were able to send not only the National Guard, but ATF and FBI and other agencies, in addition to ICE, to help police departments combat crime. I've even taken it a step further. I think we need a national crime bill because you can't sustain the National Guard being on the ground and all these federal resources. We hadn't had a crime bill in now 31 years. Bill Clinton was the last one to do it.
You know why? Yeah, Bill Clinton was the last one to do it. You know why? Because Republicans, there's no such thing as a crime bill that doesn't address loose guns on the streets, and Republicans will run against it all the time. They would rather, and they know that it benefits them politically when people are killed, when like co-opting victims' stories and naming their bills after them, like the Laken Riley Act. Again, that was done not because Democrats needed a reason to vote for that bill, but because Republicans were balking at it. And by naming it the Laken Riley Act, it forced Republicans to get on board with this bill. So
President Trump has a unique opportunity and a real opportunity here to not only do what he's doing now, but to sustain it. I think people who live in Memphis and people who live all across the country, if you tell them I'm going to reduce crime in your neighborhoods, I'm going to reduce fatalities in your neighborhood, I'm going to make it easier and safer for your kids to go to school and for you to go to church and go to work. I don't know anyone who would be objective to that. Now, there are people who object to President Trump, but I don't know anyone who would object to those conditions permeating their community.
I do.
Yeah.
Everyone that
You're
has been
against
offered.
banks?
No, you're saying that there's no one who's rejecting the help.
I said people in those communities, the politicians.
Well, the politicians are the
I
problem.
want to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
They are. Well, I appreciate that, Harold. But just like the claim that the Democrats should vote for the clean CR, and very few, if any, do, and come back to the table, and they don't. They go on CNN to whine. They are trying to do the meme war. Same thing here. The people who are representing the people are denying them access to law enforcement and the National Guard coming in to clean up the streets.
National Guard's not law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. They cannot be law enforcement. They can do a lot, but they cannot arrest people. They can detain people temporarily, but they have to hand them over to police officers, and they have to, secure any kind of criminal evidence that would give them a reason to. And it's legally in the same zone as deputizing fucking Steven Seagal or somebody doing a citizen's arrest.
To do in their cities what President Trump's done in my beloved Washington, D.C. I live in the heart of it. He's made it.
The National Guard, by and large, their existence is to put the fear of getting shot in people. That's what they're there for. And the idea is that if you've got riots or some shit happening, fuck, I screwed this back my bad. You go back to here. That if you have a Katrina type situation, then the National Guard can secure areas against stampeding people or fucking looting or those kind of things. That's not what's happening in any of these cities. And as a matter of fact, they are completely useless. And you can see this even in the Chicagoland area or even in places like Memphis, that they're not standing there on street corners in areas where beef shootings are happening, where people are just, firing at each other because somebody shot a friend of theirs last week, and this rolling violence like you see in Austin or the South Side of Chicago, or you see in Memphis or those kind of things. Their presence isn't going to do anything about that. You have to, first of all, you have to scoop the guns off the streets. You have to arrest people who are engaged in it, and they have to stay in jail for a long fucking time. That's it. They just have to be out of the social net of that area for long enough for the victims and the people and their families and elsewhere to not experience that disruption in their life.
I said people in those communities, the politicians.
Well, the politicians are the problem.
I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
The politicians are the problem. Yes, because that's the problem, representative government. Anybody, by the way, who tells you that politicians are the problem and it's the politicians and politicians and politicians, what they're really shitting on is democracy. They're representing the voters. It's the voters clamoring that they hate. This person just makes it a smaller, easier, more direct target. If somebody is not delivering for their constituents, then that's how you attack it. But if the politician's just able to shine on this group of people and those people just keep re-electing them and those people are so fucking stupid, they're not denigrating the politician that they don't like in the other party in that situation. They're denigrating the public.
They are. Well, I appreciate that, Harold. But just like the claim that the Democrats should vote for the clean CR, and very few, if any, do. And
what claim?
Come back to the table, and they don't. They go on CNN to whine. They are trying to do the meme war. Same thing here. The people who are representing the people are denying them access to law enforcement, to the National Guard coming in to clean up the streets, to do in their cities what President Trump's done in my beloved Washington, D.C. I live in the heart of it. He's made it more beautiful and safer and more secure and more livable.
By the way, no, he hasn't. You in your area where you are, you feel safer because you assume you are safer. It didn't change her fucking behavior at all. And these people that Trump talks about, like, I have friends who went out to dinner 5 times in the last 2 weeks, and they're just going out all the time or whatever. They weren't in any more danger before that, especially where they live and in the circles they go to and the restaurants they go to and shit like that. They just spend all their fucking time on Twitter and bought this idea that, like, there's people right outside the door. Like, don't close the drapes, Martha.
And he had a mayor there who negotiated, capitulated, played ball.
The mayor of Memphis is too. He's a Democrat too.
Well, and this is the problem. They're not letting them in. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, that awful mayor of Chicago, as awful as the last one that he replaced, they're just saying no to help. And they're depriving the people who need them the most. Look, and I have to...
Also, I honestly, what does she think is going to happen? Does she really think that, like, the National Guard is just going to go door to door in fucking Austin looking for drill rappers? I think that's what she thinks. Honestly, like, there aren't enough of them to cover the entire area. So what are you going to do? Just station in certain places to be like human fodder for catching a stray bullet, and then it's on. Maybe I think that's kind of what Trump is hoping for. It seems.
Say something else. They're still name calling. 3 weeks after the assassination of our friend, everybody's still a fascist. Everybody's still a dictator.
Right. And They're political remedies to those things. That doesn't mean you kill people necessarily. And by the way, everybody isn't still a dictator. They're speaking specifically, I think, to Donald Trump. If everybody was a dictator,
calling the president that and his supporters and these Democratic sitting members of Congress, Harold, who are in safe seats, Frost and Tlaib and AOC, high on her own supply of nonsense. I think she's named 2 post office. What bill has she passed? She wants to be president. She could be president, just not of this country. And, you know, I'm really tired of people.
You tell her, Kellyanne.
Because they don't like President Trump, saying no to law enforcement, to Border Patrol, to cops. I mean, what Stephen Miller and Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth did yesterday on the ground in Memphis, saying to the police there, you are empowered. Local police, you now have federal help, and this is to protect the people. Instead of
Fucking anything not to deal with the Epstein files. Clearly.
Gavin Newsom and Hakeem Jeffries online, why don't they do something about New York, San Francisco, L.A.?
Jesse.
I mean, you can't invoke my name, but I got.
No, I'm not invoking your. I'm not
Democrats in
picking on
Memphis
you.
and
I just
Democrats
they
in
should listen
Washington.
to you.
You kids over there, knock it off. Jesse,
Yeah, I love
so
them.
Bass is conflating Latinos with illegal aliens. Then she uses the term hunting to make it sound like some sinister predatory attack. How is this leadership, especially as Kellyanne says, after?
Are you shrinking? Are you cold? Do they have can they find a kid-sized chair for you?
Brooke's death? It's pretty brazen.
Yeah, we have the Olympics coming up in the summer of 28, and she's running for re-election. And if she wins, she's going to be the mayor of L.A. during the Olympics.
If the calendar continues to unfold the way we think it will.
That is going to be horrible. She's also going to have to work with Trump during the Olympics. She is a mess. I am beginning to think Democrats enjoy electing stupid people. And
Sorry. I need Jesse Waters needs to be forced Clockwork Orange style to watch one of my full takedowns of Trump speeches, specifically the most recent one. I don't care when he does it. The most recent one will always be worse than the last. Stupid people, are you out of your fucking mind?
I'm also getting the feeling that the donors like when the politicians are stupid because they can do whatever they want behind the politician's back, and it doesn't even matter. They get away with anything.
I'm sorry, we're talking about all the tech giants that just met with Trump, or all the fucking people who met with him on the pedo patio that he installed in the Rose Garden? That crowd?
Stupid people, it's been famously said, are more dangerous than evil people.
I love that quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. That was that Grover, Cleveland, or just Grover? I forget. Hold on. I think it's. Let's see. Do I have? I know I have it here somewhere.
Oh, hello there!
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was Grover.
Evil people you can confront, expose, and contain.
Yeah, well, that's why you're in a tiny little box on the 5.
Stupid people, they don't listen to facts, they don't listen to reason.
Look, you can't talk about Greg like he's not sitting right there. It's just rude.
And oftentimes they don't really succumb to force.
Yes, they don't. They won't stay down.
And so when you
They won't. Wait, sorry. Stupid people won't succumb to force. Think about that for a fucking second. You try to put them down like a dog, and they keep getting back up because they're too stupid to stay down.
you get a stupid person that gets a little confidence,
Yeah.
And you get the Jesse Waters show.
that's the worst. That's
It is the worst. But if it wasn't for that character trait, there would be no Fox News.
the
So
most dangerous. And you have to be very careful around stupid people.
Where do you think you fall on that range?
Where do you think, Harold?
That's why they gave him prime time. You know, Dana, so this
see, they even make the joke amongst themselves because they know.
lady, Karen Bass, runs a city and she couldn't put out a fire. And to this day, I think less
She couldn't put out a fire. It's out. You do realize.
than a handful of permits have been approved to rebuild. And this is what she's doing. Again, there is absolutely no accountability from her own party.
There's no outrage. I mean, I don't see any outrage there. And I know that there's probably a lot of people that don't even want to run for office.
Yeah, they don't. Probably not. Like, I don't even know.
the thing that she was talking about, she said they're hunting. She said ICE is hunting illegal immigrants. Just last week, on Wednesday morning, the breaking news that Bill Hemmer and I had was that you had a criminal on a rooftop who was actually hunting ICE and killed 2 detainees instead.
Right. I think that would fall into that stupid people category of things or whatever. Yes, the guy who shot at the ICE facility killed 2 detainees. That would be a sign, I think, on their side that the left is a lot more violent than the right. Obviously, their aim sucks on top of that, so they're just randomly violent. Also, I would like to point out that that statistic that they've been riding on for the last little bit, that there were 4 actual acts of violence, 1 potential, and then only 1 act of right-wing violence, it constitutes a switch in the power dynamic of left versus right violence. And in that very same graph, they started in 1994, but skipped the Oklahoma City bombing. Left it out entirely because it was bad for the body count.
Where's the outrage on their behalf? But they continue. They want to spin it up. One thing about
the person is dead. They killed themselves. It's a terrible thing. We have shootings like that all the fucking time. This one's political, so you suddenly give a fuck.
See is that, again, that's a split screen situation, like with the border, and that you'd have Karine Jean-Pierre and Mayorkas say, the border is closed, and then our split screen was like, what, actually, did you just see all these people just walk across?
Oh, you mean that loop you played from months earlier and footage that you got from when Trump was in office that you played on a loop as well?
It's the same in D.C. You have these National Guard troops who are there taking pictures with people, and you have that footage, and you have the mayor who's, at first she was like, oh gosh, here we go. But she decided to embrace it. She's gotten through that. The city is safer, so they have an outcome. So the more that you see those outcomes, the better it gets for Trump, the worse it gets for the ones who are resisting, like in Chicago.
Excellent point, Dana.
Or lazy blather.
Click here.
Jesus. Click here for more arrogant stupidity.